What is going on, everyone? My name's Boit, and I'm back with some more Age of Mythology Retold action. And on this episode of Who's That Smurfamon, we can reveal it now. It is actually Kido. Everybody and their mum has been wondering who this guy is. Is it the Mister? Is it Rapple? No. He's got to feel good about getting claimed to be all of these different people. But yeah, this is Kido. Just your average kid with an O at the end of it. Bones in the building, smurfing up a storm and managing to confuse everyone. And now he has stapled himself as one of the people who have smurfed on Age of Mythology Retold. That is as far as the roasts are going to go for today. His opponent today is none other than the only player who has never smurfed in his entire life, Kimo, and he is playing as Kronos. Relics on the map. Over here we have the Eye of AoM. This is a really, really nice relic for both players to be picking up there. On this spot, Ship of Fingernails, always going to be a big help to kick the game off with that extra little bit of food. Staff of Dionysus here. Honestly, this relic, not that big of a deal. But 0.5 regen, it's probably not awful, you know what I mean? Like if you get into like a lot of fights with your villagers, say for example in a Norse mirror, I'm just thinking about places where this would be nice. In a Norse mirror or something where you go out onto your secondary hunt, you can feel comfortable about actually just pulling the villagers off and fighting on that hunt because you know that you can just pull them back and they're going to heal back up to full HP. So it's actually not a terrible relic. It's just misunderstood, and it's a little bit lackluster at the 0.5 regen, but it's still fairly worth grabbing in some situations. Anvil of Hephaestus up here as well. Gold cost of text minus 50%. Not bad at all. As the Kimo Oracle steals the Kido goats. I am definitely going to be struggling with this one, so I'm gonna try and hang on. We got to get the casting board going here. Just give me a second. We're just gonna lock on over here, and I'm just gonna quickly get some names in here because I'm gonna get so confused looking at bones when this is not bones at all. So we can let's get the casting scoreboard in here. Bam, and then we go smack, and look at that. Look at that. I mean, it's not it's not like any sort of best of 5, but at least if I get confused and everyone else gets confused, we know who is. You'll see all of these smurfing names. They get me. In my old age, I can't really tell my 2s from my 3s and my 1s from my Ds and my Ms from my... Man, basically Kido is Kimo, but with an M as well. He's not just a kid with an O. He's a Kimo with a D. All right. All right. Let's see how the game's going to go. Freyr versus Kronos. Not a matchup I get to see all too much. There are a lot of very, very interesting ways you can play this one as the Ghoul and Bursty with Archaic Age Ghoul and Bursty. Does it get the Oracle? Value. The most value Ghoul and Burst you'll ever see. Is the temple going to go down? I don't think it does. This thing's got like no damage in the Archaic Age. Okay, look, in terms of the best Ghoul and Bursties I've ever seen, this might be, you know, ranking pretty high up there. 2 or 3 best of all time, but does he actually kill it? He might. No. 10 seconds remaining. Does it get temple coming through? They do already have a Hearser out to get a couple of hits in. Not doing a whole lot of damage here in the early stages, but yeah, those Prometheans absolutely dominate this Hearser here as well. As the Classical Age comes through and the Hearser needs to retreat back, Kimo can literally just sit here and beat this thing down. It's not even doing anything to these Prometheans at the moment. However, villagers have to pull back, and without a temple, Kido in a lot of trouble here. A lot. He is out onto this food position over here, as it doesn't look like Kimo's scouted that. Now I've got that Draugr out now, and that's going to be able to help out with sending these units packing. Does he pick off the Hearser?
Skip.
Answer, yes. 1 Hearser kill and a dwarf kill? No. So a significant amount of early game damage done here. On the other side of the coin here, now we're going to start seeing Kimo going in with Terma. He is going for some 1 town center aggression here. He's already forced the Ghoul and Bursty He's already forced, what? A Hearser out or a Hearser kill. He can come in and snipe this low HP dwarf, but Kido does notice that. Beautiful pullback onto that one, as the dwarves are going to be getting pulled back as well. We've got the Draugr moving forward, and that's going to be enough to force these units away, as we do have that Asgardian Bastion coming down. No Valor for the time being, but Kimo doesn't mind, as the villagers are all going to be moving forward here. That Asgardian Hill Fort to secure this gold mine. It doesn't really secure it. If you take a look at the range, you can still get in here and hit this one with some Terma and then retreat back out over and over again. But if you can get that one through, you will get access to the Huskal, and Huskal against Terma, very, very good. There's not a fantastic option for Norse, sorry, not for Norse, for Atlantean against Huskal in terms of a hard counter. You basically just have to build Murmillo. Cairo Ballister are okay, but you don't really want to build them all too often if your opponent, it depends on what your opponent's really got. So if they've got a handful of Huskal, they can actually get a lot of damage done onto those Terma, though the Terma can just run away from them after all is said and done. So we'll see if Kido, if Kido is going to get any of those Huskal out for the moment, or if this is just for the defensive structure. And also remember, you can't actually deconstruct this one. It is immune to deconstructions, I think. Nonetheless, one thing that I know that Kimo likes to do is he likes to get his Horse Archer, which is Turmarin Chariot Archer, and he just likes to build it. Unless you can force him to build something else, he likes to just build it. So we'll see if Kido is going to be able to make this happen. He does have these Berserks, and he will be able to get that upgrade for them as he's gone through Ulla here. We take a quick look over here. We got that coming through now. Servant's Glory does get 5% extra speed onto the Berserk, so they can chase forward. Good micro from Kido to dodge. But in doing this, now the Terma can charge forward, and that Draugr is not going to be long for this world, as the second town center over onto the right corner will be coming up here for Kimo, as Kido is going to be taking out a Oracle over onto this position. But while doing this, the villagers on this spot here, they will get some return fire. We've got a Herdman in. I don't often see this unit all too much. It does have bonus damage against the Terma here as well, so we'll see how it's going to go as it gets ruined. As into the main base, the Berserks go. No real good answer for the Berserks in the main base, as Kimo going to be taking a lot of pressure here. As the Berserks do manage to get over onto this one, sniping one citizen. The citizen over here going to be retreating away as well, as Kido still searching out not Berserks, searching out Oracles here. Kimo not protecting these Oracles at all in this position. But the one thing that he does have is he's got a second town center. So losing a couple of Oracles here, not the end of the world. Losing a couple of Citizen here, not the end of the world. But it does keep Kido in this game in a really big way. One thing you can kind of do to trick your opponent is to kind of swing around to the back here. And then if the Terma ever charge forward, you get the sandwich. So send the Huskal off onto the back, let the Terma charge in to try and take your dwarves, and then you run forward, and then you can kind of get a sandwich on them. It's a little bit challenging to do, but you know, it's an option to some degree. As Kimo is in full micro mode. One other thing is that, you know, this micro that you do with these Horse Archers, it is very, very what's the word? Micro intensive. Very, very micro intensive. Wait, these bad boys don't get that move speed buff. Imagine if the Huskal here had Hall of Thanes. Then these things would be amazing here. Luckily, there's no Force Eddy for Freyr, otherwise that would be insane. Nonetheless, we see a Heroic Age now coming through for Kimo, as getting out a whole bunch of Satyr in this position will be making a lot of sense. Meanwhile, over onto this position, some walls coming down over here for Kido. And we'll see how things are going to start eventuating here. Kimo now going to be moving forward here. Does get a little bit of damage done onto the villagers. Snipes one off. And the villager going to be retreating back. The Huskal now starting to charge forward. And the Terma retreat away. Oh! More citizen kills. Kido is getting so many of these, but the Kimo villagers, they just keep pumping out. So it's still, I mean, I don't actually know who's in front in terms of income at the moment, considering just all the idle time that Kido was forced. Army differential is very much in favor of Kido. You also have to remember that the upgrades are cheaper for him, so that can be a big deal. Mana gets sniped down. Some units swinging onto this other side, still trying to look for oracles and the like. Kimo only with 3 at the moment as a town center attempting to come up here for Kido. As Kimo, this is just too hard. These players, these guys have to change their names. So Bones here chasing away Kimo in this one. As the Satyr going to be coming through, and this is where things get very, very dangerous. Now, these Satyr, I wouldn't say they're the best against the Huskal. Huskal 60% pierce armor here, but against those Berserks, if you can save that special attack to get onto those, it can do so much damage. And why is Kimo building Contarius here? Chaos getting dropped down onto this one. I don't understand this to save my life. Contarius at this moment against all these Berserks and Huskal. Do Huskal or Contarius win the fight?
Yo.
I think it's probably pretty close. It's probably the Huskal in all honesty. Nonetheless, Contarius are the option here. As Kido gets up his second town center. He's held on for the time being. And the game is going to now settle into the next position as another Asgardian hill fort going to be getting dropped down onto this position. The more Asgardian hill forts you get, the more Huskal you can build. But I mean, do you want to build Huskal against the Contarius? They do cost wood, which does make it a little bit easier to span them out. I'm still not 100% sure. Let me do some quick math on this. Where's a Huskal? Over here, Huskal has got himself... Oh, I don't have my mod on. I can't do some quick math. The Huskal has got 130, 140-ish hack armor. This thing has got more than that, but it is 3 pop. Can't do the math fast enough. I'm sorry. It's just not going to happen. I need my mod. I turned my mod off because I had some issues with a different mod, but I'll turn it on afterwards. Don't worry, guys. I'll remember. Now we've got that A gear coming through here. This one is always going to be a big, big, difficult thing to deal with for the... for the Atlantean. Just because it's like they want to have all of that movement. But I guess this is the idea from Kimo. The idea isn't actually to use this force to fight these Berserks or fight these Huskal. He's just going for raids. Looking for someone to kill. He gets the upgrade. They do move at 5.8 speed. Very, very quick. You can get in, get out. The only unit that can really chase this one is going to be the raiding cavalry. However... Kido is very, very intelligent. He sees these. He sees the only thing that these do is raid, and he's going to get himself completely walled up. And walls, generally, if you've got the line of sight, you've got the ability... Oh, look at these raids here, though, coming into the main base of Kimo here. As, I mean, it's just... This is really, really good from Kido. He's getting so much value with these. Super, super quick. Got that town center coming up over on this position as well, getting up to 3 town centers. Plus, this is Kimo's third town center here as the mana getting taken down onto this position. Berserk's charging forward over here, trying to get some sort of a trade on this location. Comment to the chat. Kimo plays too zoomed in to see these raids coming. I mean, it doesn't really matter. Where your eyeballs should be on the mini-map. I mean, if you play with zoomed out, sure, you have the advantage, but if you're not like constantly just darting your eye onto the minimap, then I feel like you're missing out on even more information. The minimap is getting the entirety of the visible surface as an advantage. So zoom in, zoom out is what it is. I like playing zoomed in because I got terrible eyes. And now we see the Contarius coming through. They will be able to spot some villagers, but Kimo misses that one. Villagers simply just going to be retreating back. Over onto this side. Oh, he gets spotted. Unlucky there for Kido. Not going to be able to finish that town center. Mana coming up onto this side. Lots of Berserk coming through. Whole bunch of upgrades in as well. Does Kido have any extra armor? He's not extra armor, so just the one. Town center denied, as now Kimo can get himself his own third town center here. As more mana is getting time shifted in to try and build this up as fast as possible. Kido now going to be looking for some citizen kills in the center of the map as the Kontari is coming through here. I'm not sure he can actually fight this, though he does get that upgrade, and there is the A-Gear Tempest getting dropped in an attempt to retreat away. He could utilize the Rock Giant to get a crazy taunt here to allow his units out, but not going to be going for it. Yeah, he could use it. And he just pulls back. And there's that. Look at all those Kontaris getting taunted in here, as these Berserks are just going to absolutely melt this. Meanwhile, on the back, the Satyr did get frozen there. Goaty trying to take out those bad boys at the back. We've got that Chaos getting dropped down, and it looks like Kimo might be able to clean this position up here. No, I don't actually know. There's too much stuff for Kido, it looks like, as Kimo needs to get some units out that actually deal with infantry here. I mean, in a way, making Kontarius and... I don't know. No, I don't see it. I just don't see it. I don't see anything Kontarius here. He needs some, like, Murmillo. Obviously, he's teched into these, so now he doesn't want to move away from them. But in a sense, you need something else. But the Arcus will be a good option here to hold, as the Citizen up here are getting sniped down. There is still a decent Citizen advantage here, as Kido throwing down the BM Asgardian Hill Fort in the face of Kimo here. Now, technically speaking, this thing actually is not that BM. It's not that BM, because it's cheaper than throwing down an actual fortress or a hill fort. But nonetheless, BM is what we're going to call it. As the Citizen's coming through, you're going to attempt to shank this one down. It's 5 seconds from completion, as those Arcus getting some good damage from behind there. Does he have himself ballistics? Yes, he does. Out of the army numbers now for Kido, they've fallen, as he needs to retreat back. But he does get the Asgardian Hill Fort up. How many does he have? He's got himself 3. If he gets this levy upgrade at this point, he can actually start getting himself a decent amount of Huskarl out. But the hard part is having the patience to get the numbers out such that you can actually get in and kill these Arcus off. The Arcus going to be pulling back. We'll see if he's going to jump onto this gold mine or not. Well, he wants to snipe down the Asgardian Hill Fort. He's only got the hack units here. Is there boiling oil? No boiling oil. Onto this top position, we're still seeing some nice raids here from Kido. He's got this side longhouse. This sort of side build shenanigans is so annoying, as Kido forcing Kimo to move his citizens, or tricking Kimo to send his citizens into the corner of the map there, as the Fort Asgardian Bastion does end up falling. Another hill fort now coming up, as Kido says, yep, I see the mass Arcus. Let's see if we can just get these Huskarl out. This will be really interesting. If he does go into mass Huskarl, I genuinely believe that the stats on this unit are actually really good. The hard part about this unit for Norse is getting the time to get them out. Having enough of them out. That's literally the hardest part about these units. It seems to me, at the very least. So we'll see if this is going to work out for him. Mass Arcus coming forward, as Kimo, a significant advantage cooking here, is at 200 of 200 population in this game. As a hill fort finishing up, Huskarl still coming out. I'd love to see this. How long does it take to research? Is 50 seconds. It takes so long. It's got to be worth it to just grab this. It's a heroic age tech, isn't it? You just can't. Nonetheless, Palace on this position, starting to get taken down by some Berserks, as Kido's raids are going to be a thorn in Kimo's side for a very long time to come in this game. And we do see Vidar clicked up now for Kido in this position. More Huskarl coming through here as well. As the raid's coming down to the bottom side of the map, Kido didn't finish up his wall here. There's a big, giant opening here. And the lull before the storm, is Kimo's deciding to play. I mean, This is actually makes a lot of sense. Like if you force your opponent into mass archers, it means they've lost all of their pushing power, which does mean that you then give yourself the time to tech. So he's able to get this Mythic Age off, but in turn, we're also going to be seeing Kimo going Mythic Age, and this is going to be a big, big implode to come. However, Vidal also erases this army. I think the best way to use this on archers specifically is to target it in such that the explosion happens on buildings, but the actual trail of the Deuterino, of the lion, of the fire dude, whatever you want to call it, the dragon, goes over the Arcus, and the burn damage while it passes over, that's where you want to get that damage in. There's now Bones ready to come through. Look at all these Huskarl coming in. The Huskarl up to the top position here. Getting it onto the back here is Kimo. Going to be pushing himself back. We've also got that Vidar almost through as Kimo will be pulling into an extremely tight choke point here. And it looks like these Huskarl, I mean, they did their job to a degree here, but they're not able to push in onto this position. But that's a absolutely huge amount of damage coming through from the Inferno there as all of those Arcus get absolutely obliterated. The forests get set on fire as well for some pretty fancy special effects. And now the rest of these Contaris are going to be in a very, very difficult position. Units moving up to the top side of the map here as well. There will be implode coming, but Kimo needs to get all the units into one spot here to get them all sucked up. As the Atlas comes through, he's going to have to use it on himself here as he does drop it down over onto this position. And Kido's army does end up getting caught. All the units going to be diving into here. As a lot of these units do end up actually surviving after all of that. I don't know if there was that many of them or something. Still trying to work this God Power out. Look at all the Huskarl queued up. Just build more hill forts. Get one unit and build another hill fort. Is he doing it? He's getting a couple of units to build a hill fort. I don't mind that in the slightest, but it looks like Kimo is held on after that huge Inferno. Kimo's implode keeps him from taking too much damage, but now the pushback is coming into Kido's base here. We've got the champion infantry on the way. All of those Mythic Age upgrades are going to be coming through for Kido here, but is this going to be enough? He needs, I mean, he just needs the time to get these out in a way. On the other side of the situation here, Kimo doesn't really have the resources to get his upgrades through. I mean, he could probably get himself champion cavalry in as deconstruction onto a hill fort. That's going to be a lot of good damage done onto that one there. But Kido still doesn't even have his third town center up. He's going for raids up onto this position as the Berserk's going to get some good damage in. Champion infantry does come through as these bad boys are going to get a lot. I think that Kimo needs to retreat away from here as he finally does decide to do so. Over onto this position, still hanging out here, but can't really find the damage. Gold mines are starting to dwindle here for the side of Kimo. For Kido, he's getting a market up onto this position here. On the other side, there's still some decent gold mines remaining for Kimo, but they are in the front. This is going to be one that's going to be contested here, and basically, I think you have to just kind of accept that this might not be a gold mine you can actually gather from and just start trading here in a way. But champion archers and champion cavalry does end up coming through. And Kimo's still going to be looking for something to take out. Meanwhile, over onto this position, Palace going to be getting taken out over here. Fnatic coming through as well. Kimo simply just going to be retreating back ever so slightly here. But Kido getting up the town center. He's about to be... He's got himself nearly 7,000 wood in the bank. He can go for a Titan at the moment. No, he doesn't have the favor. He could cancel the Rock Giant and go for a Titan at the moment here. So those Argus are getting a huge amount of damage into the center of the map. A little bit of a standstill here, though, as it looks like, I mean, Kimo needs to hold this position to some degree here and get more of that pushing power into this main position for the moment, as Kido kind of struggling to hold to some degree, but he does have some incredibly strong infantry units here. Berserk Huskal helping him hold on down population considerably here, as the long wait for this fortified town center to come through. Huskal trying to push in onto this spot, and it does look like those Arcus need to retreat away. Part of me feels like a tech switch into Mamillo or Fanatics here. Probably Fanatics rather than Mamillo, but a tech switch into Infantry. He's got the medium Fanatics here, but a tech switch into Infantry to get that front line to deal with those champion Huskal is going to be really, really good. And that's exactly what we're seeing Kimo do to a degree, but he is still building those Contarius because he needs something along the way here. Resource-wise, Kimo is struggling. So he needs to get that trade route started. He's getting some walls up onto this position. We do see the Loch Ness Monster hanging out with his buddy, the Kraken. There's this big open space here to come and charge in and take out Kimo's hometown center here as well. This has got to be something that Kimo is a little bit careful of. As Fafnir coming through, he's almost taken out. This means a couple of 100 gold to go back the wayside of Kimo here is coming to him. But Kido just can't push just yet. He's still just got to wait out this fortified town center. He's still a little bit behind on population, as now he has it. Now he's going to be able to spend. But what does he want? He'll be getting that upgrade, Twilight Gods. Everything going to start coming through. Now we see an attempt at a bit of a tech switch into what looks to be... No, he's only got one... No, he's got 2 Great Halls. Not sure about the cavalry at this point. You can definitely research into it. All the resources in the world for Kido as he decides, whoops, I've forgotten. Let me get some Berserks out here. And yet again, we're just watching these Huskal. He's got so many queued up. He just needs more hill forts. He just needs more hill forts. But now that these Fanatics are in, it seems to me like Kido is going to need to throw an axeman. Deconstruction coming down to take out another hill fort to limit these numbers. This is really, really big for Kimo in this game as Kido tries to push forward. He does have a really strong army now. He's not quite able to get around the back here and get any sort of surround onto Kimo's army. Kimo getting that shoot and scoot here nicely. Garrison over here as finally the Fafnir does go down. Did he get his value or not? You be the judge, but look at the resources for Kimo. He's going to be happy with that extra 300 gold. The trade route now well and truly on the way for both players. How many markets are up here, actually? 3 markets for Kido. He's only got 2 producing, and only the 1 production on llama caravans for Kimo here, as he's going to be getting himself Devotees of Atlas, Titan Shield, Heroic Renewal. Thank you for the raiding party, Matrius. Hope your stream went well, my friend. Hope you're getting to that 1800 rating and all the other good stuff that's coming there. Stone walls, granite more coming through. Kido still can't quite make this push happen. It's still a bit of a standstill. Units coming around onto this position, trying to break through these walls. This stone wall couldn't come any sooner. There is this opening over here as well. Side build still coming through onto this position to kind of set this one up, as the Mamillo are now finally going to be coming through. But as the Mamillo come in, the Throw and Axemen are already ready here. But good control from Kimo to continue to ensure that his archers are getting that good value. One thing here for Kimo that he hasn't considered just yet is this Temporal Chaos upgrade. It's one of those upgrades which I would argue is somewhat of a late game upgrade, but you can get it kind of early. I think right about now is almost the perfect time to be thinking about it. And then you just start getting, like, sending a Contarius, sending a Mamillo, sneaking it through, and then you get yourself your line of sight upgrades for your buildings, and all of a sudden you're just spamming buildings into your opponent's base, getting a whole bunch of problems onto this trade route here. Because this is where everything is the problem. Wood-wise, you can't sell that. Food you can sell for a little bit here, but that's about it. Gold mine on this position about to be expired here for Kimo, as he very much needs this trade route to start kicking into hyperdrive here, but he hasn't really been producing anything just yet into the main base. A couple of berserks getting some raids. We see another hill fort coming down over here. More of these infantry units are going to be coming through. Any amount of siege here wouldn't go astray. You just take down buildings. Remember, whenever you're on the defense as Norse, losing a military building means units have to come out of the army and rebuild that building. Otherwise, your production is just going to suffer. So it's always well worth it to just have a siege weapon in to just be sniping off longhouses and things like that when you're playing against Norse. Miller going to be sniping down these units as well. We've got the big bad upgrade Feast of Renown in to heal up these berserks, but it looks like Kido might be getting sniped off of this position for the time being. We do see some cheeky little walls coming up over here, but the stone walls, they are keeping Kimo alive for the moment here, but stone walls coming through, not going to be fast enough. We do see a palace here going to be getting thrown up to try and defend this position. As onto the bottom, Hillfort's going to take a long time to go down. Do these have their upgrades as well? No, he still doesn't have those upgrades. Really? No, he does have them. Never mind. Okay, I looked at the wrong thing. But meanwhile, villagers out repairing just a handful of berserks. Still, a portable ram here would not go astray for Kido to break through this position. One thing to kind of remember is that if you get yourself siege engineers, you take down walls really, really quickly. Like, if you kill off this wall with the siege engineers, it kind of explodes. And I think it kills off even more of just that one wall. So siege engineers, really, really important upgrade to break through these walls in the late game. Especially if someone gets like multiple walls in a line and you go, well, like, as we affectionately call the Kimo wall, you can get in and absolutely remove all of that stuff. Over onto this position, throw an axeman. Going to be taking out these units here. Haskell. Do manage to take out a huge swath of those Arcus on that spot. I mean, in this sort of position, losing units, it's not really the biggest of problems. Getting space or claiming space is everything here. Getting those walls up. And this is where Norse does actually start to shine. As you can see, Kido getting in here and doing this. But so too does Kronos. Kronos can do this probably arguably more efficiently or more effectively, excuse me, than Norse can. So while you're defending all of this, got to get that Temporal Chaos upgrade. Kimo might not really be aware of it because he might not have seen it before. I wouldn't surprise me, as we do see some portable rams coming through and siege engineers is on the way. But yeah, if you get that upgrade and you just start time shifting 3 buildings at a time, so good. So much wood in the bank as well. You can just get a whole bunch of military barracks and just start doing it. There's the portable rams here, still trying to make their way through on this position. Up to the top, a couple rams trying to deal with this. Over here is Kimo just desperately trying to hold on, but while this is going on now, Kido can push in and start hitting the main town center, and he's just going to be able to continue to do this. Over onto this position, Kimo going after a couple of villages here. But, I mean, killing off wood villages at the moment, I would argue this is just giving... this is more of a blessing for Kido than a curse here with nearly 9,000 wood in the bank. Well, does he not have himself... Oh, he's missing some upgrades in the armor. That's a bit surprising there. Guess he doesn't have the gold for it, maybe? I don't know. Nonetheless, town center for Kimo now going to start getting torn down. This is the trading town center as well, right? So this is going to be a very, very big problem as Kimo desperately trying to repair this one back up. Units coming through here to get onto the back of those drone axemen and everything else. More of these red units streaming in, but too little, too late. As Kido manages to outmaneuver Kimo in this game to claim that town center, or to raise that town center and claim a population advantage, which is going to be absolutely huge for him moving forward. He can take down the towers, take down everything else over here, grab this town center, and just call it a day. More citizens getting cleaned up. Town center for Kimo. Attempting to come back up here. He does have a mana on this spot to build it really, really quickly. And it does look like he manages to hold on here. Is there anything else going on? How does he hold on here? Where are all the units? Kido getting pushed back is a bit surprising to me, but the portable rams, they will spot the town center. Will they be able to kill it fast enough, though? It's going to be close. It looks like he will be able to prevent the town center from coming back for the time being, as Kido are going to get even more hill forts sorted on this position. And now look at the resources for Kimo. All Kido needs to do is take some, not even a good trade, just a decent trade here moving forward, as Fury of the Fallen coming through. This technology is actually kind of insane for Berserks. 15% extra DPS for a moment of time every single time a Berserk dies. I don't exactly know what the area of effect of this is, but it's like if you lose 2 or 3 Berserks in an area, that's like a mini Flaming Weapons. Town Center now coming back up for Kimo yet again. Couple more hill forts onto this position, but in that moment, Kimo decides the game is over and he's just going to be tapping out here. All these hill forts are going to be a little bit too much for him to deal with, is his assumption. Meanwhile, over onto this position, side builds just hitting everywhere. Now, I think this was just a game of Kimo not using... I would have been really, really interested to see what would have happened in this game if Kimo used that Temporal Chaos, used that time shift ability, and just got in onto this position with time shifts over and over and over and over again. And then all of a sudden, Kido needs to defend this while also doing what he's doing, and everything becomes less effective from his side, which allows the Kronos to kind of function in this position here. But we didn't see it, so we don't know. It might not have been very effective after all, but that's what I want to see. I mean, this is obviously, you want to see what the god can do. It's kind of like when playing Uranos in the late game and not using Sky Passages at all. Doesn't make any sense at all. So yeah, maybe Kimo doesn't know about the Temporal Chaos, doesn't know about how it works, but even then, just one time shift is still pretty strong. You can actually time shift 3 palaces in onto this position as well. I know it costs resources to do so. I don't know if it's going to tell me how much it is, but I think it's half the resources to get that time shifted, but could be an option. Nonetheless, if you guys enjoyed this one, please consider the follow on the Twitch. If you're on the YouTube, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next game.